Welcome back to the Supremely Black Podcast. This is your boy D Rose. Hope everybody's been having a good day so far. We're going to pop this month off just right. This topic here is something I've been looking into for a few days now, just trying to see would the media coverage switch up at all, see if there was any information that was going to come out any different, right? If you've been following us, and if you haven't, I will give you a breakdown. We've talked about what I consider, or what a lot of us consider, as missing white people syndrome or missing white woman syndrome, right? Here recently, as of late, just to make sure I got their names right, Lauren Smithfield and Brenda Rawls both were found dead in Connecticut in the same areas, right? Lauren was 23, Miss Rawls was 53. A lot of people have been talking about the Miss Lauren Fields, and they really haven't spoke about Miss Rawls. Rest in peace to both of those queens, right? Now, Lauren's situation was she was last seen with a white guy, blue-eyed devil at this point. They had drinks. They found that she had drugs in her system, fentanyl. So basically, it seemed like she was on a date rape drug and lost her life with this white guy. The white guy calls the police. He's not been charged. That's what we have from that right now. The family's in an outrage now. Miss Rawls was just found deceased in her apartment. And both of the families are fighting in the Connecticut area because they feel as if that there's a lot of, it's not any coverage. We haven't seen anything about it like they cover when white women or people of white descent are missing or found dead. There's a big news coverage with that, right? Also, when you think about, rest in peace to Peter Spencer. To inform you of what went on with that, that was the black guy that had went out with 9 other men on a hunting trip. Last time he talked to his fiance was 2:30 that morning, saying he was staying at the cabin. He was reported dead the following morning. He was shot multiple times, like 7 or 8 times, 9 times, the face, mouth, chest. The guy that was arrested, 25-year-old, blue-eyed devil is what I'm going to refer to them to, has been released. There has not been any charges. Now, when you think about not being in charges and saying self-defense, what could he have been defending himself against? That hasn't been stated, right? And then as of the latest one, rest in peace to Kendrick Johnson, his family was fighting, and that happened back in 2013. He was found rolled up in a mat at a gym, and nothing ever came of that. And the only thing that they could say is that, I guess apparently he rolled himself up in the mat and it was just an accident or a suicide death. From reports, he didn't have his organs. They were stuffed with tissue paper by the time that his family even found him. That's where we're at with that. And I very thankful for the people that have reached out and sent me some of this information. I was researching. This wasn't something that had just came across quickly. I have been looking into the Lauren Smithfield situation. But then when I got to connecting the dots, I started to see that there's been a lot of different things. And what's weird to me is a lot of those dates were similar. They're all were found deceased or were killed on December 12th of just last year. And unless you're really in like the black media, you haven't really heard anything about it. You think about, Holly Bobo. You think about Gabby. You think about any other situation to where it's pertaining to white people. There's a lot more coverage, right? And I'm not here to complain about that. I'm just going to say this is a challenge for us as we think about. A lot of people will be celebrating these 28 days of, Black History Month. I feel like it's 365 days, but we're not going to get into that. It's just to, push the focus in that. To the families that were impacted this, my deepest sympathy goes out to you all. But this is really a challenge in regards to how we really look at it. So this is what I always meant when I say or shout out people that are about, making sure that we uphold ourselves to a different standard. And what I mean by that is that when we're moving around, I come from a small town. I've been around white people that were good, fun, having, dude, let's go get fucked up as white people. I'm cool with that, right? But we're in a time now that where people are very malicious. They've always have been. You would think that in 2022, with some of the stuff that is still going on, it seems like we're back in the old KKK days. And I think we've gotten our minds conditioned to people that don't move like that. People will have hidden motives. That's why it's very important. Like I tell my homegirls that move around, get you some pepper spray, get you a little small 22 or 25 or something like that you can make sure you protect yourself, right? Get you a taser. If you're scared of guns, get you a taser. Get you some bear spray. Get you something that can get somebody off of you if they try to, abduct you, or you catch yourself in a situation to where you're going to have to, defend yourself to make it home, right? I know we hate to move around and have people in our business, but send somebody a text message, let them know exactly where you're at. Like in Peter's situation, he reached out to his fiance. Unknowingly, she didn't know that he's probably already dead or killed at that particular point for him to be found that following morning. For anything to escalate after 2:30, I think that's false. I think that was just a text message sent by the people that killed him, just following the script. And that's just my honest belief in regards to that. When you think about Miss Fields and Miss Rawls, we don't know what happened to that. We know Lauren was with a white guy and she had a party. They were partying or drinking. And from what the looks of it, it seems as if there was a date rape drug that went wrong. She overdosed and they found her dead, right? And he was able to walk free. When you think about how white media or the justice system doesn't do any justice for us, those are type of things that we would have to look at differently. Because this is why sometimes when people are complaining like, oh, they didn't have to do that. When somebody is being attacked, whether it's physically or sexually, and they feel like they're taken advantage of, if they are able to defend themselves and end up killing them, I don't think that there's any remorse. That's not extreme force if somebody's trying to take something from you, right? But be able to protect yourself at all times. Be able to scout people. Quit trusting people. My mama always told me growing up, like, always let somebody know what move that you're doing, no matter how you're doing it. But at the end of the day, your number one goal is to make it home. And unfortunately, these people didn't. And the lack of coverage that it's getting is actually sickening. Even from like the black media outlets I've looked at, it's maybe a post, but it's nothing like Cardi B beating Tasha K in court, Rihanna being pregnant, Kanye with a new girl, Nick Cannon having a kid. You feel what I'm saying? So those are the type of things that shouldn't be plaguing our minds, because there's a real war that's going on outside, and these people aren't being aren't just being randomly killed. These are planned acts, and they're very intentional how they're doing it. And we're so focused on the distractions that we don't even see what's really going on. So my challenge would be for me is cover stories like this more consistent. Post that like you post the viral videos that are detrimental to our community. For the people that are moving around doing what you're doing, you're by yourself or you're solo, right? Get you something to protect yourself, whether it's bear spray, taser, whether you are sharing your location, you have somebody with you, have your dates, be out in the public space, quit allowing people into your space until you really truthfully get to know who they are. Give little tests to see if they're going to show you any false movements. There's a lot of different things the way you can weigh up, do people have your best interest, right? But when you think about these people, they all have one thing in common. They're all black. They were all last seen with blue-eyed devils. And this isn't to be ignorant and speak of it from a prejudice perspective or even racism, but we have to start moving different around these people that are going to get the right of way, because like the man that was last seen with Lauren could literally call the police, say of what had occurred. It was a night of hard party and I guess she overdosed, doesn't get charged. The man that was with Peter says that he killed him because of self-defense and 9 bullets. No showing of anything that Peter had a gun on him, tried to kill him, anything, was able to walk free. When you are starting to see a trend like this that has always been, but now that it's being brought to the forefront, we just have to be mindful to understand. I understand people have friends that are going to be of different ethnicities, different colors, but we got to move smart in this time. It's a real war going on outside. You feel me? Like, be very, very, very cautious of your surroundings. Not just of our people, but of the other people as well. As I say, the real ops when it comes to that. Because if you have blue-eyed devils that are purposely either distracting or trying to kill you or kidnap you, though, that's the real oppositions. That's the blocks that need to be getting spent, outlet, et cetera, et cetera. You feel me? That's the issue. But also, just to kind of close this up, is that it's going to be upon us to continue to push it out to the media outlets. I've seen it a lot on Instagram. I've seen it on Twitter, but I don't see it from our bigger platforms. So I don't know if they're being paid to just continue to push the agenda of all the bullshit that's going on, or is that going to offend your white counterparts that you're actually standing behind black people that are being, killed, lynched, kidnapped at a massive rate? Is that more important than, Rihanna being pregnant or all that other bullshit? Honestly, like, what's going on with that? Because we complain about not having coverage and not doing X, Y, and Z, but then we don't hold them accountable in regards to the people that have the bigger platforms that can continuously push it out as anything else that may impact our communities. And then also, as you think about this month of February, when you're in Georgia, you're in Pennsylvania, you're in Connecticut, or you're anywhere that there is racial disparity going on, join the fight in spending your money with black-owned businesses that are actually for your community. Quit going to the big chain restaurants, the big chain grocery stores, spending with them and not understanding their plight. The only way that we could actually win the fight, it won't be physically, it's going to be with money. The moment that they realize that the money is no longer coming, then that's when your voice is heard the loudest. We could beat on the door all day, but as long as you spend your money, they're deaf to that. But the moment that you strip the very people that could be funding this system or that are funding this system of the money that they can no longer get, that's when you start to get results. But it's also still important that we stay unified for the ones that are truthfully fighting for us to be in a better place to where we're not begging, create our own. That's going to always be my message. It's going to always be my focus. It's going to always be my goal, no matter if I'm speaking with people randomly or if I'm talking with brothers that have a nonprofit like myself and connecting with other people from different cities and states. Build our own. That's when we were the strongest. That's when we were our best. But it has to start from breaking down their system. So quit spending with them. Be more unified within each other. If you're going to be hollering out, Black History Month, then we shouldn't be, one, we could defend ourselves better when we see the real opposition. But then secondly, we shouldn't be still killing or harming or hating on each other during these 28 days. So then that could help us understand, okay, if we take this from them and then we're focusing on what we have within our community, that makes things go a lot smoother. The vision is a lot clearer. But to continue down our same war path or, path to destruction, but then still call out or try to focus on what's going on over here, we have too many oppositions. You know what I'm saying? But make sure that you leave your comments, and again, salute and, rest in peace to those people that, have mentioned, and even the other ones that haven't even garnered attention or have not came across a timeline or a tweet. I'm gonna be covering some more stories as well. There's been a lot that has came across, but rising power to you all. I hope I hope your families actually get the justice. But leave your comments below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed. What's your thoughts on this particular topic? Is there anybody else that hasn't been mentioned that should be getting national attention? Reach out either in the comments. You can reach out to us on Facebook, which is Supremely Black. The Instagram you will see on the tags. You can find us, send us a DM. We'll respond back. We'll cover your story. Be more than happy to at any time, not just because it's Black History Month or any of that. But make sure you do that and share with other like minds. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. For the people that's been rocking with you, major salute. We do appreciate the genuine support. Again, this is your boy D Rose. Long live CC.